Okay, so now we are getting start with our controller that is going to be a provider basically, and this provider we will start coding for this provider with the using our API service class. So what we need to do, we are going to create a class that is going to be the, I think I should say, the meal provider with change notifier notifier. Yeah, that's okay. So we are using with keyword. This is some kind of inheritance, you can say, but need to import the material dot dart. Okay, so now we need to start making our provider. First of all, we are going to create object of this API service class to use this function, this one right here, and coming up here. So this is going to be API service. Why it is very slow, I don't know. Let's import it. Yeah, so we can import this one as well. So API services, here we are going to create an object API service. This way, API service class. This is how we create an object for some particular class, and we are going to use this. First of all, we need some more variables, like we are going to have a list of meals that will store all the meals in present in our API or the database. Okay, so we are adding this. This is going to be meals, and meals are going to be an empty list at first, and we need a loader here as well. That is going to be a bool. Bool is going to be is loading. Okay, and this is going to be false at the very beginning. And now we need the our fetch data function here. That is going to be a future function. Okay, sorry, but this is going to be a void. It's not returning something. Now what we need, as we know, we are going to use the asynchronous to get the, we need to do, we need a sorry, we have to set this is loading to true. What it will do, when the this function will be called, it will set the is loading to true, and we can show us some progress indicator in the UI part. So this is here we are going to do, and notify listeners, we require it. Actually, why we use this notify listener in the provider, to take the immediate action. It will like this is something, it will like okay, so to take the immediate action, like I can say I can put something forcefully to do something immediately. So this is it. And here what we need, we are going to have this as on the basis. So actually, why I'm using this query, I will tell you just in a minute when I'll create the instance for this mail provider class. And for now, what I need to do, we need something like, okay, okay. So because our API service class is returning something, so we will store that in some variable that is going to be a mail variable. Sorry, the meals, sorry, we don't need this one. We are going to use this meals variable here, that is going to hold, what it is going to hold, API service dot, we have called this object, and we are going to call this data that is going to have the fetch data. and that will hold some query, and we will provide it query that is going to be this one. Okay, so done. Sorry, because this is the future, we have to await this function. Okay, so we are done here, and again we are going to copy this and we will paste it here, and we will set this to false. Now we will set this to false. So listener will tell the provider that the state is going to be changed, and the changes are going to be made into the UI to fetch some data. Okay, so what it will say, first of all, it is going to start loading, and this notify listener will tell that the state is going to be changed, and after that, when the data gets loaded, it is going to notify that you have fetched some data, and the state will be changed to is loading set to be false due to this notify listener. This is one function, and now we need to call this function somewhere to execute its statements, so the notify listener will be able to work properly, as you know. So we are going to call this in the constructor of this class. And what are constructor? Basically, I will tell you until in a very simple way. Constructor are basically the special kinds of methods, you can say, that being executed as you create the object of that particular class. Okay, so when these constructor mostly use for initializing values, and to initialize some conditions as well. So here we are going to initialize what we are going to initialize a value that is going to be a fetch data, and query is going to be a burger for now, because this is actually the query we are looking all the time. It is asking for the query, and this query will goes here, and this is going to execute. If you will see, this is coming up here, API key plus. If you will see, we are going to ask it for burgers here. This is the query I was talking about all the time. So that's it. I think now we can move towards the UI part. If I'm coming here, controller APIs, we have not created some folder for that using the MVC. So we are having the controller, model, and views separately. So these are going to be views or screens, whatever you want. I'm going to call it views for now, and this is going to be my home screen for now. So, and I will use a stateful widget here. As I will type the STF, it will give me the stateful widget complete home screen. And in the UI part, what we need to do, we are going to have a scaffold here. That scaffold will hold an app bar. That is going to be an app bar, and we are going to have a title here. Title is going to be the meal app, and this app bar is going to have the color, I should say the background color, sorry, and I'm going to use for some orange accent maybe. That's it for now. Okay, so title, oh sorry, we have to put it inside a text widget. That is going to be a text widget, and we'll put it here. So you can use the const here, because this is not required, but this is for the your good programming. What this const does, this const basically does the compiler not to rebuild this widget. Okay, because this is going to be a constant widget. So we are done here, and now we are going to have a body. Now we need something here to fill up the body. First of all, what we are going to do, we are going to create object of our provider. So this is going to be a meal provider. that is going to be meals. That's it, meal provider, and this is going to be this is how we create object of some provider class. Provider, we need this one, dot of context. We have a problem. We are going to call this inside here because we need this context. So we are calling it inside the build function, and to specify what which provider we are going to use, we are going to give it a type that is going to be a meal provider. So that's it. It will actually directly refer to the functions and the variables inside this meal provider. So now as I'm coming here, I'm going to call it meal provider. Sorry, it is a bit wider. Spelled it and I'm correcting it now. So if I'll press a dot here, you can see I can get all the objects inside this meal provider. But now what I need the is loading when the function, when the is loading is set to true. Okay, so we are going to use a ternary operator here. So what it will show, it will give you a circular progress indicator that is going to be a loader. Actually, this is the circular progress indicator we use to show some loading of data. We can use some custom widget here, but we usually prefer to have it. So I will wrap it with center, and I will use a constant here as well. And here we need something else that is going to be when the loading is done as we defined in our controller. So when the loading is done, it will ask to fetch this data, and store the mails will store this data on the basis of that query. And here we have it. So what we are going to do, we are going to call a list view dot builder. This is going to show us or provide us a list of items with index, and here we have it. What we need inside this, we are going to have a context that is going to be this context, and an index of each item, and done. We have to return something. This is going to be return something. Yes, list tile here. So we are done for now. Let's give it some other properties, like we are going to have it. So I think we should give it item count, and item count is going to be this meal provider dot, because we are storing this in all the data in meals list, so it should work until the length of this list. Okay, so we are done for here. So now what we need to do, we are going to have a title here. To fix it, we are going to have that something like text. And what we are going to, this is not going to be a constant value, so we need to call it from the API. And how we can do that, so we are going to have meal provider dot meals, because the meals is basically I can say from the models. So it will hold the property of this model, and it will show all the values that we have in the API. And the single meal is having some property, so those are going to be shown from this meal. But this is for single meals, we have to use some index. At this index, we are going to call, first of all, I can say maybe, we have Okay, so let's do with the category, and it says the string, this is the null label value, so you can't pass it this way, so we will use the null operator here. And let's see if we get some data. Let me attach my phone here. Just wait until the app gets run. So finally the app is getting run. Just give it a second. This container to home screen. Okay, so we are able to change this, and done. Sorry, one more thing I forgot. This is going to be the meal app, and we need this debug show check banner to false. Also, I forgot to initialize the provider. So for doing that, what we need to do, we are going to wrap this with a widget, and we are going to use multi provider here for now. Provider, and we are going to import this, and this requires the providers, a list of providers you can say. So what we need to do, we are going to initialize our provider here. So how we can do that, we are going to have it this way. So we are going to have it this way: change notifier provider, and it will refer to something like meal provider, and we are going to have a context here, and we are done. Sorry, we are done here, and as I will restart it, we should see some output now. Okay, so finally we are not getting data yet, so we have to go through all the files, but I think I have found something in here. Yeah, actually this is something that makes you a good problem solver. So software engineering and being a developer is all about problem solving. So if you think you do not make mistakes, so you are not a good programmer, believe me. So this is something you can learn. So because we are using it, the query, because we are going to have different meals here, we have to remove this from here, and I think this one as well. So when I will try to restart it, so hopefully now we will get some data. Yeah, finally we have it. So I actually changed the text color to check why I was having some errors. So let's keep it black, and I think we need to decorate it a bit more. Also, I will have a leading, that is going to be image dot network, that is going to be okay. So like typing it again and again is going to be a very difficult thing for me, so I will create a variable here that is going to be a meal. This is going to be a single meal. Okay, so yeah, this meal, and it will hold this, and we are done for it. And now we can grab this meal and call every single property throughout this list view builder. Meal dot, I need the thumbnail. I actually forgot the name. That is going to be str, I think something. Not that. This is not. This is something like, I have to remember. Yeah, this is it, and we are going to have it this way. And also we can have something like leading, and we already have it. I think we can use the subtitle. In subtitle we can put a text as well. Copying, paste, and here we are going to have something like subtitle. So okay, so let me change some values. Here I think we can use, this is the str mail we are already using, and here we can use the category, our category, yeah, this is what we have. And now as I will hit the restart, so hopefully we are going to have a nice output. Yeah, that's it for now. And hopefully you liked the tutorial, and if you have some question you can ask it on directly through the YouTube channel, or through Instagram, Facebook, or whatever you need. You can follow me on LinkedIn as well. So don't hesitate. If you like my tutorial, please subscribe the channel and share it to help the community. Thank you so much.